Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really cool piece of sustainable tech. It's an ingenious device that actually solves two big problems at the same time: generating clean energy and preserving food, all while being totally off-grid. So yeah, let's jump right in. So let's start with a question. Picture this. You're a farmer way out in a remote area, or maybe you're a researcher deep in a forest. You've just harvested some really valuable crops, or you've collected these crucial samples. The clock is literally ticking. So how do you stop all that hard work from spoiling when you have zero access to a power grid? That's the exact challenge this invention is designed to solve. And believe me, it is a serious race against time. For a lot of crops, those first few moments right after the harvest, they are absolutely critical. So what's the big enemy here? It's moisture. Simple as that. See, moisture is the perfect breeding ground for all those nasty microorganisms and enzymes that make food decay. If you can get that moisture out, you can dramatically extend the food's shelf life and, keep its quality high. The real trick, though, is doing that efficiently. And this is where some really brilliant engineering comes into play. We're talking about a solution that's not just effective, it's also completely self-sufficient, which is so cool. All right, so here it is. Meet the hero of our story today, the dual-pass PV tray dryer. I know, it might look like just a solar panel slapped on a box, but trust me, the design is incredibly smart. It's portable, it's lightweight, and it combines a solar panel with a drying chamber. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty of this one, let's quickly cover what a basic tray dryer even is. Okay, so at its core, the whole concept is pretty simple, right? You just place your stuff, crops, herbs, whatever, on trays, and then you use a flow of hot air to pull the moisture out. Easy enough. But the real magic, the secret sauce of this particular device, is all about how it generates and uses that hot air. Okay, let's get into the mechanics. The name itself, dual pass, kind of gives us a big clue. It's this dual pass system that makes the whole thing so unique and, more importantly, so efficient. So what exactly makes this dryer so special? What's its secret? Well, it's all about cleverly recycling heat. Heat that would normally just be totally wasted. Let's follow the airflow to see what I mean. Okay, step one. This is the first pass. You know how solar panels get really hot when they're sitting in the sun, right? That's just a natural byproduct of them making electricity. Well, instead of just letting all that heat escape into the air, this dryer actually draws fresh air in and pulls it through a channel right underneath the panel. It's literally capturing all that valuable waste heat. Okay, step two. Now that the air is preheated, a small solar-powered fan kicks in and pushes that warm air down into the main drying chamber below, where the crops are waiting. This forced air circulation is so key because it makes sure the drying is even and efficient. And here it is, the second pass. That preheated air now flows over all the trays, soaking up moisture from the crops before it finally exits the chamber. So think about this. You're not just drying your food. At the exact same time, you're actively cooling down the solar panel, which actually makes it work better. How cool is that? So let's just recap that, because it's so clever. You have one stream of air that makes two passes. First pass, it cools the solar panel and grabs its waste heat. Second pass, it uses that very same heat to dry the crops. It's just a really elegant, closed-loop piece of engineering. Now, that all sounds great in theory, right? But the real test is, does it actually work in practice? Well, let's take a look at the numbers. Okay, so this is kind of the moment of truth. Does recycling all that heat really make a measurable difference? Well, the researchers put it to the test, and the results are pretty clear. All right, let's break this graph down together. It shows us exactly what happens the moment that fan gets turned on. See that dotted line? To the left of it, the fan is off. No forced air, no convection, nothing. But on the right side, bam, the fan is switched on, and that dual pass system kicks into gear. Now, I want you to keep a close eye on those temperature lines. Whoa, look at that. As soon as the fan turns on, you see those top lines? That's the solar panel's temperature. They take a pretty noticeable dip. And at the exact same moment, that purple line, that's the temperature inside the drying chamber, it starts to climb. This is the proof right here in the data. The system is actually pulling heat away from the panel and shoving it right into the chamber where you need it most. And this is the whole point. This is the win-win I was talking about. See, a cooler solar panel is a more efficient solar panel.
It actually generates more electricity. And, of course, a hotter drying chamber means your food dries faster and better. It is a genuine, textbook win-win situation.
But wait, there's more. The smart design doesn't just stop with the drying. This whole thing was built with real-world users in mind, and they packed in some extra features that are incredibly useful. I mean, think about it. All these advantages make it pretty much perfect for who it's designed for. Researchers can just carry it out into the field. Small-scale farmers can set up drying stations right there on their land. It's lightweight, it's self-powered, and like I said, its usefulness goes way beyond just drying food. And okay, here's the real kicker. Tucked away on this device is a power inverter and a charge controller. So that solar panel isn't just running the fan. Nope, it's also storing energy in a battery, basically turning the whole unit into a portable power station. Just stop and think what that means for someone working in a remote location. Not only are you preserving your valuable samples or your crops, but you can also charge your phone, power up your laptop, or even run some LED lights. It's basically an all-in-one off-grid survival tool. Because at the end of the day, the whole goal is to create a high-quality final product, right? And this quote from the researchers really says it all. They noted that the evenly bright greenish color indicates high chlorophyll and nutrient content has been preserved. That's a direct indicator of quality. So this thing doesn't just dry the food, it actually preserves its value. You know, this dual pass dryer is such a perfect example of smart, sustainable design. It solves multiple problems with just one elegant solution. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other waste heat are we generating all around us every single day that could be turned into a valuable resource? What's the next brilliant win-win solution just waiting to be discovered?